being, he decided to extend that government to the face of the earth. He decided to extend that government to the visible creation. And so after the heavens were created and the civilization was put in place, you need to study about the spirit realm. It will teach you how to honor God. Because when you go into that realm, you are going to see excellencies. There are beings in that realm that have rank. The Bible spoke of an angel. When they stood, it said one of his legs covered all the waters, and another one covered all the land. So you are wondering, what is a leg? There's an angel that shouted in the book of Revelation. The Bible says 1/3 of all the birds died. So you are wondering, is it volume or is sound at another frequency? Maybe it's a gamma radiation. He shouted and birds died just because he screamed. So if that kind of angel shout 3 times, how about the countries that are saying they are world power? That means one angel can come to the earth and humble Russia. One angel can come to the earth and silence the United Kingdom. One. So when we are saying we have power, God is just laughing. No wonder the Bible said when the kings of the earth raged against God, he didn't fight back. How will he fight? He said, he that sit in the heavens shall laugh. How do I fight you? One angel can show up overnight. Didn't you hear that one angel killed 185,000 soldiers one night? So he just laughed. When you want to fight God, I will deal with you. He will look at you. Oh, that means you are ignorant. You don't know who you are dealing with. This is Ancient of Days. This is the governor of the universe. This is the creator of the ends of the earth. He sustains all things by the word of his power. When God talks, he's not educating you. You'll be educated in the process, but when he talks, he's creating and sustaining. That's why if God said be blessed, he will discover you have power to produce result. You'll know that it's not an information, it's an empowerment. Because the one talking to you is the monarch. His words are law. When he speaks, the whole realm is reconstructed. The Bible said when Israel left Egypt, the land of a strange language, it said Judah was a sanctuary. All they were doing was praising him. And he said the sea saw them and fled. Who gave the sea intelligence? He said Jordan went back. Said the mountains keep like rams. And when the question was asked, oh sea, why fleddest thou? Oh mountains, why skippest thou? And the earth responded. He said, let the earth tremble before the presence of the Lord. That means even creation understood about his majesty. Even creation knows that this one is God, Lord of the heavens. But you see, all of that is to inform you that the realm you are walking in is a kingdom that belongs to a king. Because when he was operating his government in the spirit realm, a day came when he decided to extend it to the visible. So he created the visible from the invincible. He created the material from the immaterial. After he did that, he decided to place a governor to rule over the earth. But unfortunately, that governor became wise in his own understanding and decided to rebel against God. And so he was judged and the earth was judged. So in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, on account of that judgment, the Bible said darkness was upon the face of the earth. And it said God came and began to reconstruct the earth. So this earth we are living in now is actually the third phase of the earth. The first earth was destroyed in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. The second earth was destroyed in Genesis chapter 6 in the days of Noah. So the earth we are walking in now is the third phase of the earth. But my emphasis is not to show you the evolution of the earth. My emphasis is to let you know that the earth is actually supposed to be a symphony of the heavens. Because God has a government that is operational in the spirit realm, and he wanted to establish that government of the earth. So when he created the face of the earth, he didn't want to put an angel as a governor anymore. So in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, God went back to the studio of eternity, and the Father spoke to the Spirit spoke to the Son, and the Son spoke to the Father. And the conversation that took place there was to introduce another governor into this ecosystem. And that was why God said, let us make man. That was the conclusion of divine wisdom. He said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And he said, let them exercise dominion over this earth that we have created. Let them be the governor over this earth. But for them to be able to bring government to the earth, God decided, I'm going to create them now in my image. What humbled me in that scripture is that when God created this new governor, if he created him like the Father, that would have been good. If he created him like the Son, that would have been good. If he created him like the Spirit, that would have been good. But God decided to aggregate the totality of the reality of the Godhead. And he said, let us make man in our So when you touch man, you will see the Father, you will see the Son, you will see the Spirit. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And he said, let them have dominion. So God put us on the earth to exercise dominion. But as God began to unveil to us the sequence and the protocol of dominion, one thing we discover is that dominion will be impossible without fruitfulness. And so the subject of this conference is actually to show us some of the resources that provides dominion so that you can function as a government agent. Because you are here as an ambassador of a civilization that is immortal, a civilization that is ancient. You came here to represent the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But you cannot do it without dominion. And you cannot have dominion without fruitfulness. So in Genesis 1:28, the Bible said, and the Lord blessed them. And the Lord said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. That means one of the critical components that substantiates our purpose on the face of the earth is to be fruitful. And so when you come to a conference like this and you hear fruitfulness, increase, 100-fold, it's not an ambition. It's not about appetite to have more. It's about empowerment for dominion. Because we're not the ones that said we were wise enough to be fruitful. It was the one who gave us the assignment called dominion that told us that the first thing we ever require is fruitfulness. Does it not surprise you that the first thing God did to the man was to bless him? And the first thing God told the man to become on account of the blessing is to be fruitful. So who told you that lack is something you should dare think about? You came to this conference because the monarch wants to multiply you. You came to this conference because the King of Kings wants to enlarge you. He wants to increase you. And he's increasing you because he has an agenda. If you are not increased, what it means is that you don't have a place in that government. Because the government that is run through dominion is for those who are fruitful. Do you now see why people who don't have no voice? Not because they are not talking. There are many people talking, but nobody hears them. Because for you to be heard and for you to exercise dominion, you must have. You must be fruitful. You must increase on every side. So you have come to this conference at such a time as this because God is insisting that your existence will count. You have been in the crowd for too long. It's time for a little one to become 1,000. It's time for a small one to become a great nation. And so the first thing I want to establish from scripture